How to get playing time at the park. I'm Tony. Welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
Motives are treacherous. There's a thin line between pain and what pleasure is. And on that thin line is me leaving them breathless. Make them aware is their moment of reckoning. It used to be less of a wreck, now I'm reckless. I'm the best and I still get the best of them. Hold up.
This video came from a great question I got, and I probably wouldn't have thought of talking about this topic on my own without being asked this question. So the scenario is, you put in your own solo work by yourself, right? You're building your game by yourself, but when you're out here at the park and other people are around, how do you go about actually getting game time in with them? Something I want you to keep in mind right off the bat is you're the serious basketball player in comparison to them. Usually most of the players you encounter out here are going to be casual basketball players. They're just looking to play some basketball because it's fun to them. In comparison, you're the one who's trying to become the very best basketball player you can be. You're the one that's trying to do something special out here, and because of that, you should be the one to approach them. Don't wait for them to come to you. Don't hope that they'll come to you. You're the one, you're the serious player. You need to approach them. When you do approach them, the message you want to get across is, I'm here and I would like to compete with you. Now you can say that however you'd like to say it, convey it, phrase it however you need to phrase it, however's comfortable for you. But the important part is you get that message across to as many players as possible, as clearly as possible. That's the obvious and general answer. So let's get a little bit more specific. In order to do that, I'm gonna break this down into 3 categories based on court popularity, meaning like how busy is the court that you're playing at. The first category being like what to do if you have an empty court. How do you get playing time there? How do you get playing time on a super packed, busy court? And then how do you get playing time on a court that's sort of in between there? So for an empty court, the obvious answer is you're either gonna have to go to a different court where there's actual players there that you can compete against and get playing time, or you're gonna have to arrange for players to come and meet you at the park so that you can compete with or against them. That's really the only 2 options you have in the case of an always empty court. On the other end of the spectrum, when you have a court that's always packed, always busy, all day long, that is an instance where I ask you, how much does this mean to you? How badly do you actually want this? Because on courts like that, you're gonna have to do a couple things that casual players probably would not do. The first thing you're gonna have to do is to get there early, be the first player there so you can claim a basket for yourself. And on courts like that, they usually show up in groups of like 4 to 6 to 8 people at a time. And hopefully, if they're good people, if they have what I consider to be good basketball etiquette, they will let you play with them because they will acknowledge that you were there first, appreciate it, and then let you play with them because you were there before they were. But it's also very possible that they will kick you off of the court because their logic will probably be, well, there's 6 of us, there's 8 of us. I know you were here first before us, but there's more of us. So you kind of have to get off the court and let us play. And that sucks for you, but we'll get to that in a second. Second of all, the only other real option you have on super busy courts like that is to be consistent. Show up all day, every day, over and over again. Let the regular players on that court see your face and know and get used to the fact that you're going to be out there all day, every day, waiting for your opportunity. Now, does that sound like it's boring and tedious and that you're going to be spending a lot of time waiting to get into a game? Yes, it does. That's why I asked you, how much does this mean to you? How badly do you want it? Because if you're a newer player, and especially if you are a stranger to that park, like you don't have a reputation out there at all, they don't know you, think about that from the regular player's perspective. They don't know you yet, and that's just kind of how the circle of life works out here at the park. When you're the younger, newer, not yet known player, you have to pay your dues by waiting your turn. And then when your opportunity finally does come and you're able to get into a game, it's on you to then earn your spot from there. When it comes to moderately busy courts, such as this one, where at certain times of certain days the court has players on it and can be busy, and then on other certain times of certain days the court is empty, this is where I want to touch on the idea that in my mind I think of it as being the court status, or the status of the court. Meaning, like, if it's you out here by yourself practicing, putting in work, well then the status of the court is you working on the court by yourself. But if another player or two show up, now the status of the court changes. And you're aware that the court status has changed because of the new players, but you don't know how yet because you don't know what their intentions are. Meaning, maybe they are looking to just shoot around by themselves, or maybe they're looking to practice or train by themselves, or maybe they are actually looking to play and get some competition in. You don't know until you approach them and put yourself out there and then find out what the new status of the court is. In my experience, it's easier to approach one or two new players on the court than it is to approach a group of players, 6, 8 players who are obviously playing 3-on-3 or 4-on-4. If there are additional players off to the side of the court waiting to get in the way that you are, approach those players, ask them what the status of the court is. Say, hey, do you guys have next? Or can I get in? Are you guys waiting to play? However you feel comfortable putting it. Or if there is no additional players out here and it's just you looking to get in on their game by yourself, then wait till they're apparently clearly done with, like, they're in between games, so you're not interrupting their game, and then approach them and ask them if you can now play with them. Hopefully they say yes, but if they say no, then hopefully they at least give you a reason for them saying no. For instance, if they may be playing a series of games, so they're doing like best 2 wins out of 3 games, they could say, well, you know, we're playing teams right now, we're doing the best 2 out of 3. When we're done, then you can come in and join us. But even if they just straight up tell you no and don't give you a reason, then at least you kind of know where you stand with them. Like, they don't really want you to play with them. At least you know where you stand with them, and that's the current status of the court. And also, at least now they know that you want to, you're available to play with them. Because it's common that, you know, during the course of their games, for whatever reason, one of their players will have to just abruptly leave the court, and that will make the teams uneven. And now they will be aware that you are interested in wanting to play, which immediately solves their problem of having uneven teams, and hopefully they will then come and ask you to join them. But again, most importantly is to get the message out to as many players as possible, as clearly as possible, that you're there and you would like to compete with them. Lastly, I just want to touch on what to do if you are super uncomfortable with, like, approaching strangers, especially like on a court that you're not familiar with, and asking them to play with you. What should you do if you're nervous or feel intimidated or scared to approach these strangers? And believe me, I've been there, done that. As a kid, I was a super shy kind of person, but not on the basketball court, because I knew that on my own, by myself, I put in true, honest, hard work to improve my basketball game. So when I came out here to the park and was looking for competition, I had true earned confidence that I could play my best basketball when I was out here, so I wasn't nervous. But if you are, the solution can be found in a concept that I was talking about a few videos ago that I called the behavioral pathway, which I described as the pathway that every person takes when it comes to how and why they behave the way they do, including basketball players. And the more familiar you are with that, the better you understand it, the more you're able to deal with things such as the negative emotions, as being nervous or intimidated when it comes to trying to get playing time out here at the park. So understand that if you're nervous, if you're scared, intimidated, whatever it may be, you have that feeling because you're afraid of the rejection that may come your way when you ask them to play with you. If you ask them to play, you're afraid that they will judge you and then reject you because of that, and when they do, it's going to hurt your feelings. And the natural reaction to that for a lot of players is just that I just won't ask. I won't ask other people to play with me, strangers to play with me. That way they can't reject me. If they can't reject me, then I can't have my feelings hurt. But obviously that is not a solution. That is a terrible approach to take, because then you're not getting the playing time that you're looking for. So instead, the actual solution that will actually work is to go ahead, be nervous, be intimidated, be scared of approaching these strangers. It's perfectly fine to have those emotions. What is not fine is to let those emotions then stop you from doing what you're trying to do. So basically, feel that nervousness if you have to, but go ahead and ask them, approach them, put yourself out to them anyway. I know it's easier said than done, but from my 30 years of basketball experience, let me tell you that rejection, and especially the players that are going to be jerks about rejecting playing with you, they won't matter. They don't matter, and they won't. In the moment that they're rejecting you, it will feel like it matters, but the point is that you do it anyway, and because you're intelligent, reasonable, and rational, you realize that rejection is just going to come with the territory of asking. Rejection sucks, but the first handful of times when you do it, it's going to feel really difficult to do, but soon you will start to acclimate to it, and before you know it, it won't even bother you anymore. The rejection will not matter. So that's the downside. You get rejected, it hurts your feelings. That's the extent of the downside of putting yourself out there and trying to get some playing time. But the upside is so much greater when it comes to putting yourself out there and trying to get playing time, because the upside, the possible upside, is not only do you get the playing time, but it's the people that do let you play with them, that do have good player etiquette. It's those players that matter, not the ones that reject you, not the ones that are jerks to you. The ones that let you in are the ones that matter. And from that pool of players that do let you play with them, it's very possible that you could forge lifelong friendships with those people that used to be complete strangers to you out here at the park, simply because you approached them and they were good people with good basketball etiquette. Now you have lifelong friendships with those people because you approached them, asked them to play, even though you were nervous or intimidated to do so. You did it anyway, and because you did that, now you've forged lifelong friendships because of it. So that is how to get playing time out here at the park. Put yourself out there, make your intentions clear that you want to get playing time in with these people. Be friendly, but also be confident. Be confident in your skills and your abilities. Even if you're a beginner, you're putting in the hard work off the court or even on the court by yourself so that you can compete in game, in playing time with people. So be cordial, be friendly, and be confident, even if you only yet have limited skills and abilities. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, if you think it's going to help you get more playing time out here at the park, that's great. Please subscribe to the channel for more. This is a small channel. It's an obscure channel. We talk about weird, obscure things, basketball related, on this channel that have nothing to do with how to do this workout or how to run this drill, because that doesn't interest me. What interests me is looking outside the box and finding ways outside the traditional basketball channel, YouTube channel box to help you become the best basketball player you can be. So when you watch, when you stick around, and especially when you subscribe to support all of this obscurity, know that I genuinely appreciate it. Also, like, share, comment, hit that notification bell. When you hit that bell, you're gonna be notified when every single one of my videos goes live. And until then, see you guys next week.
Hold up! I'm feeling a little bit dangerous, and they looking a little bit anxious. If I'm laughing while I'm twiddling my fingers, it's only a warning that you can't just walk up to me, talking to me. Ain't no telling my reaction, I could black out. This is such an experience, and it's always one I wanna max out. Everything, said I'm ready for any and everything. Mama said that I could be so many things, but this morning I chose to be menacing. I said everything, that means everything. Said I'm ready for any and everything. Mama said that I could be so many things, but this morning I chose to be menacing. So do